Hello, all my IELTS students across the globe. I know I don't often do these videos where you can see me speaking. So, hello everybody. This is the first video I've actually done live recording, but I just thought it was an easy and quick way to answer a common question. So this morning when checking your responses, I saw a student had messaged, Julian, thanks for the message, and asking about a question I've seen quite a bit about Task 1 reports, about tense in Task 1 reports. And it's a common question where people are looking at my model answers and saying, well, shouldn't the Task 1 report just be in the past tense? And actually, mostly we might use the past tense, but we can switch between tenses. And using the correct tense in the right part of your Task 1 report is really important for your overall score. So understanding when to use past, present, future tense is really important. So we're going to take a look at just a simple Task 1 report question, and we're going to discuss when we can use the different tenses and how really it can affect our writing. Let's take a look at an IELTS writing Task 1 line graph. So before we start thinking about tenses, as always, when we see some visual information, take a moment to have a read and get an understanding of what it is we can see. Let's start with the y-axis going up. It says population percent. Of course, you'll notice that I don't have the question here, so I'm going to try and guess what the question may be. So on the y-axis, I have population. Along the x-axis, I have a range of years and decades from 1960 to 2040. The data shown on the key below the dates is 0 to 14. 25 to 64 and 65 plus. So I'm going to assume, and rightly so, that this is world population percentages by age group. So really quickly, good for an overview. 25 to 64 always is the highest amount. Changes only being between younger age group and the older age group. Okay, so a quick look at the data we're working with. And now let's consider different tense use for this question type. Okay, so let's begin with 1980. I'm reporting dates, years in the past. Therefore, it would make sense to use the past tense, which we do use for dates in the past. In 1980, the majority of the world's population was still 25 to 64, which stood at just under 70% total. And a nice structure there as well. So I'm reporting a date in the past. I will therefore use the past tense. But what if I'm reporting or discussing predicted dates in the future? Well, there's a couple of ways we can do this. And first we have using the future tense. By the year 2030, 65 and over will rise to 30% of total population, tripling its figure in 1980. That last part, tripling its figure in 1980, a great bit of comparison. Really good for task achievement score in Task 1. But back to tense, will rise. It is predicted the figure will rise. So predicted because it's already been done, the graph has been made. Predicted, it will rise. So I'm using the future tense to discuss future dates. Past tense, for past dates. Future tense can be used for future dates, but we can also use the present simple tense for this. From 2030 to 2040, the figure slowly declines by a further 2.3%. And that's because in my voicing, in the tone of my writing, I'm reporting what I see now. So I use the present tense when I'm saying I am seeing this now, and I will report in this tense. Let's say in 2020, 0 to 14 decreases slightly. So I'm just reporting what I can see now. And I use the present simple to do this. But in future dates, we can use present simple too. So just within these examples, we have 3 different tense types. And the examiner will be really impressed if you can use them in the correct place and accurately. There's also one other tense, an advanced tense, which we can use within our Task 1 report, and that is the past perfect. So I'm looking at these dates, 1980 to 1990, and I can use the past perfect like in this example here. So from 1980 to 1990, the youngest age group had risen slightly by around 1%. So reporting a past time up until a later date or now, I can use the past perfect. Let's take a look at 65 plus. So 1980 to 2020. 65 years and older had risen massively between the dates of 1980 to 2020. Had risen. And there we have a really good example of past perfect. So we've got 4 tenses there, and I hope you found those examples useful. Okay, as you can see from the examples given, it's really important that we're able to use a range of tenses in our IELTS Writing Task 1 report, remembering that the band descriptors are split into 4 categories, grammatical range and accuracy being one of those categories. Grammatical range and accuracy makes up 25% of your total band score. And tenses are quite a big part of this. To score the higher band scores, that's going up into the 7.5s, 8s or higher, you will be able to need to use a range of tenses within your Task 1 report. And as you can see, there are definitely ways that we can do this between past, present, future, past perfect as well. So have a go when you're doing your practice report. Have a go at trying to use different tenses. Sticking only to the past tense will mean you aren't able to score those higher band scores. And of course, everybody's looking for at least a 6.5, a 7 or higher. Okay, so I hope you found this lesson useful. Any questions? Q&A section as always.